Coming to you live from New Jersey, it's the 10 Point Podcast. My name is Bruce, and I'm part of the greatest team since Jessica Simpson and her father. Only we get to wow, and they can't because it's illegal. I looked it up. With me this week, I remember you two. You're not a chubby bunny anymore. It's Chris.
Actually, I'm the opposite. I'm becoming more of a chubby bunny.
And secondly, you suck, Andy. I brand you Suckster. That's your introduction. You're Suckster from now on.
I've had worse.
We are the 10 Point Podcast. We are still doing this all these years later. Andy's been sending us anniversary pictures and memories of when we were in the early days and all this sort of stuff. We are a very old podcast now. Is it 3 years we've been doing it now? 3 and a bit years.
Google time back then.
And we've still only had one donation of money, bastards.
Yeah. No help from anybody. Google 10 Point Podcast, you'll find us. If you're hearing this, you know you can get it on all your podcast. I heard someone say it's not podcast apps and sources. There's some other. All your podcasts, there's another word, I've now forgot what it was. All those places you get podcasts. Video versions are now appearing on YouTube. We have settled our differences with YouTube.
Except from Snatch. They don't like Snatch.
Something about the film Snatch.
Probably the name Snatch.
I was wondering if that might be the problem. Might be the problem. But yeah, the video ones are there. They're not necessarily in order, or maybe they are. I don't know. Either way, they're popping up on there. Video versions, Spotify have stuck with us through this.
Spotify love us.
Spotify, we are top Spotify creators. They love us over there on Spotify. They should give us a contract. They should buy the podcast, I reckon.
Yeah. I think we're at 135 episodes, I think. Seen that number somewhere floating around.
That sounds about right. I get for ages I've been saying we're approaching 200 episodes because we have an undeterminable amount of bonus podcasts that I'm not sure how many it is. Either way, 10pointpodcast.com for all of our stuff. Twitter, Facebook, 10 Point Podcast over there as well. Send us messages, likes, and all that sort of stuff.
I forgot to tell you the random fun fact of people where they listen to us. So remember, it was always like 50-50 United Kingdom, USA.
That's right, yeah.
It's now 56% United States. Ooh. I don't have the states on this, I can't see. Only 38% of people listen to us in the UK. We're now at 5% in Germany.
All right.
4% in good old Russia. So they've got nothing else to do like listen to us. and then we've got a percent from India, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Ireland, Canada, Hungary, France, the Maldives, and New Zealand.
There we go.
I wonder if it's Brazilian Nick. No, it's not Brazilian Nick. What's it called? Pedro.
No, Claudio
from Rio de Janeiro.
Brazil. Yeah, he must be listening, surely. What was I going to say that? Hopefully it's because our American viewership or listenership is skyrocketing rather than people in Britain are just giving up on us.
Yeah.
I've had enough of this lot. Ireland, 1%. I feel like Ireland should be trying a bit harder.
Yeah, I know. But the Maldives, there's only 5 people there, so that's pretty good.
That's like 20% of the population. Watch out.
Unless one of our diehard fans went to the Maldives to the holiday and something like that.
That's definitely someone's summer holidays, isn't it? Yeah, they've gone over there. Fair enough. Anyway, 10 Point Podcast all over the place. Just Google those words. You'll find us. Contact us. Like, subscribe. 5 stars, even 2 stars. Just give us reviews and ratings.
I think our films has been hitting us this month. That's why our viewership has been down, our listenership.
The film has not been the biggest blockbusters of all time.
Absolute bangers.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll get into the bangers of films. Speaking of bangers, I'm sure you guys have got some highlights of the week. Andy, you were the most excited. So what's your highlight of the week?
I went and watched some more Robots in Disguise. This time as beasts.
Right. Is it good or not?
I think so.
You think it's good?
Is it better than the last lot of crap that's been out?
Well, I don't know, because each one of them have a little bit of crap that's good in it. This one I was like pretty I was all in. I was like, all right, yeah. The story's simple. Yeah, big bad. Yeah, I've got it. Got beasts in it. It's got Optimus Prime in it. It's like I came out with more questions than the film did answer though. I was like, legitimately, I came out and went, when the fuck is this timeline set?
Like, I was just going to ask, when's it following?
1994, which they are still going on from like the Sam Wiki stuff, which is in 2002 or something like 2004. So this is set 10 years before all that kicks off. But there's big fuck off robots in it. And obviously Bumblebee had big fuck off robots in World War II or whatever it was. And when you watch the original Transformers, nobody knows who a Transformer is or what they are.
Yeah,
so
it's sort of my head already.
Yeah. So I came out and I was like, right, okay, I understand how this fits in. And I understand how that fits in. But there's a big thing that happens in this film. It's like, how did nobody notice? And like I was like going to the chat, like, how? Like seriously? And then they literally do this.
Cinema. We're like, how would nobody notice? Standing up.
But then they do this little thing where going, like, basically, there's a big thing that happens in the sky, but apparently only the Autobots can see it because it's the right frequency. And I'm like, you have added this in after you fucking filmed this, because everybody's picking up this plot point, because everybody's like, nobody's looking up. It's just like, oh, the Decepticons, they're not the Decepticons, the Autobots can see it. And I'm like, nah, I don't believe you. Bullshit.
So I have one question. I don't know, like my Transformers knowledge is very low. Can you describe the whole Beasts thing without spoiling the film for anyone who might not want to be spoiled?
Oh, right. So that's explained fairly quickly. So the Beasts, I can't remember what they're called. They've got a weird name. It's like he's Premier. Fuck, I forgot his name. He's basically a Prime, like the big monkey one.
So Optimus Prime, but like a gorilla or whatever.
Yes.
Optimus Primal.
Aye, that's Optimus Prime. Aye, yeah, it's Optimus Primal.
Right. Okay.
But they've got a name as well. It's like not like the Autobots, but it's like that. And they are
The Autobots.
they're a futuristic version of the Autobots that are in the future, and then they use a keystone to go back in time and go to different universes to set up new bases. Right. So like young planets, and that have got energon or whatever the fuck it is that the Autobots love. So Optimus Prime is in the current timeline. Technically, he's in the future timelines, but then comes back, and then when he knows Optimus, he knows all about Optimus because Optimus was in theory in his past, but it's in the current timeline. But then I don't know when the fucking Dinobots come into it because they're in the future timeline, and I'm so fucking confused by this.
Right. So, am I right in thinking that these beast things, they are Transformers that are not robots, that are robots in disguise? However, their disguise is animals.
Correct.
And that's possible because they're very futuristic. Is that?
Because they're futuristic, but they also tend to inhabit planets, but obviously don't have vehicles and stuff like that. So when they go, they're early doors, kind of what the dinosaur bots did with Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
Because they were apparently buried and shit like that. But then it does, like I say, I came up with more questions going, how does this timeline work? I enjoyed the film. What the film did was good, but then it just left me more questions. See. And then it had a mid-season credit thing, and I was like, mid-credit thing. I was just like, holy shit, this has just went mental now. When's the next film coming out? And then my only other criticism, and it's not really a criticism, it's just me being white again. There's no white people in this film.
Right.
Like there's one white guy in it, and he's a bell end.
Right.
Like, he attacks the. Yeah, he attacks the Puerto Rican dude. I think he's Puerto Rican. That could be racist. South America dude.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, he attacks him, and that's pretty much the only white dude in it. Everybody else, other than robots' voices, that I think are voiced by some white dudes.
Robots are silver and
yeah. But yeah, no, but it didn't take away from the film. It didn't bother me. It's just when it came out, I went,
yeah,
there's no white dudes. Like we've done podcasts, and it's good. There's not one black person in this.
Well, exactly. There's one white.
But yeah, it's now went full circle. We don't have white people in films.
Anti-white racist movies.
And my only other tiny little criticism is it's robot action all the way through this film. However, I do think their budget has definitely got less and less and less, and the realism of the Autobots look a bit shit compared to the first few films.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's what I thought Bumblebee suffered with. You could tell it was a lower budget film, and they've basically done the same thing in this.
So I really like Bumblebee. I think it's probably my favorite Transformers.
I like Bumblebee, but they don't look as like Bumblebee and like Optimus Prime and that do not look near as good as the Sam Witwicky stuff. Yeah,
nailed it for me. It's been the best one. It just got gradually down ever since.
Mark Wahlberg ruined that franchise.
But on the whole, you liked it.
I enjoyed it. I just it's fucked up.
Enjoyable, maybe not good, but enjoyable.
It's enjoyable. And yeah, if you have some kind of like Star Wars roadmap on how it all fits in. Yeah, right. Or if you know the Transformers lore, I'm sure it's pretty good. They tried to explain it. I got that basics down, but when you watch the other 8 films, you're like, the fuck does this fit in?
Right, on to Chris. Highlight of the week, Chris.
Speaking of Mark, I watched Deepwater Horizon. It was on Film 4 the other day.
What a film!
That's a bagging film. That.
I don't know that.
That's my favourite oil rig film. That.
Right. Okay.
I can't say I've watched it.
Oil rig film. Chart.
Oh, not
oil rig film.
Armageddon. There's a bit of
Armageddon starts with
Armageddon. That's like the one. Yeah.
But yeah, absolute banging film. For a film that's got like a really slow build up, it just hits the max out of nowhere. and just doesn't stop.
It's the
So,
Marky Marks.
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, Bruce, go watch it.
How old is it?
7 years, maybe.
So it's quite new then. It's like a tens film now.
It's basically a
Yeah.
true story, like if you know about it, the Deepwater Horizon explosion. So
Right. Okay. Yeah.
it's worth a watch. Like,
I'll give
I
it a
think
look.
that's when BP were bell ends.
Right.
yeah.
We're sorry.
yeah, that's all
I don't know what
about
to say.
Sorry.
I have no highlights of the week. I have nothing to add to the
Yay.
category, so we'll just move
No
on.
Ted Lasso bullshit that the
No.
fans hate.
Has Chris finished it now, though? I
Yeah.
liked it. I don't care. I don't care what everybody says.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. Right. Anyway, better crack on with point number one. We've been talking for 10 minutes. Point number one on the 10-point podcast is what's the point? And the point this week,
Nobody
The
understands
2000
what this point is. I'll tell you that.
the 2005 romantic comedy Christmas movie that we watched in 30-degree weather in June, Just Friends. Thank you, Chris. Written by Adam Tex Davis. Make sure to have the Tex in there for some reason. He wrote Just Friends and was the head writer on a TV show called Brain Games and not very much else. This is basically the only film that he ever wrote, was this one here. Just Friends, directed by Roger Cumble, which is an interesting name. Director of Cruel Intentions 1 and 2, The Sweetest Thing, Just Friends, the film called After We Collided that I recognise the title of, which is a lot later than all the other ones that he directed. And he's one of them. I directed one episode of every single TV show possible, and then other kind of runs on TV shows as well, but mainly a TV guy now. But Cruel Intentions, Sweetest Thing, Just Friends were his big films. The starring cast of Just Friends as Chris Brander, 10-point podcast Hall of Famer Ryan Reynolds. Woo. From season 3 Hall of Fame, I think.
I
it
just
is.
worked out that Chris has picked every Ryan Reynolds film on this podcast.
Yep. You have this.
Apart from
like-
Blade Trinity, I never picked Blade Trinity.
Oh yeah, no, I picked Blade 2. So no, I picked Blade 1, didn't I? And you picked Blade 2, didn't you, Andy? I think that's how it went.
Yeah, I'm sure you picked Blade Trinity, Chris.
I don't remember picking it because you
I think we forced you to it because it was like pretty much you had to do it.
carry on. I'll find out if it was
Either
you.
way, we each picked a Blade movie at least, Andy. So yeah, but other than that, Chris has picked every other reappearance of Ryan Reynolds. Starring with Ryan Reynolds as Jamie Palomino, we have Amy Smart, famous for Varsity Blues, Outside Providence. Which,
It was you, Andy.
right, there you
Or
go.
whatever.
Outside Providence, she's in, which is a film that gets mentioned every second week on this podcast. Somebody wrote, acted, starred in something to do with Outside Providence, a film I've never seen, had not heard of before this film starts, but shows up every single week. She's
Can
one of the
I
main.
also stop you there as well? I'm
Yeah.
99% sure that Chris picked every Amy Smart movie we've done in this
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
Too.
No, you picked Starship Troopers.
Well, that was Andy.
There you go.
So the other one, basically. She was in Road Trip, though. That's basically where she became famous, I think, being the star of Road Trip. She was in Rat Race. Apparently, she's famous for Interstate 60, which is a film I've never even heard of. That was one of her big ones. The Butterfly Effect, Just Friends, Crank 1 and 2, and it has a massive gap of quality where she's in nothing good for about 15 years. And Andy might speak on this one. Stargirl, the TV show. She's in nearly all of that. It's a
Never
CW
bothered. Yep.
CW superhero thing. I thought you kind of watched those.
It looked pish, and I was like, nope, I'm out.
Well, I think she was in nearly the whole thing of that. But other than that, Crank was like the last thing she was in that was like, any good, or she had a sizable role in. Third star as Samantha James, we've got Anna Faris, and I got halfway through doing her biography and realised I've already done her on Waiting at the end of last season, the last time Chris picked Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
So I'm not going through any more of Anna Faris. So our fourth star, he was the and at the end of the opening credits. As Dusty Dinkelman, or Dusty Lee, we've got Chris Klein, who broke out in 1999 through being in both Election and American Pie. He came back for the second American Pie, but infamously was never in the third one.
Yeah.
Everybody else came back except from him, because he's a superstar now, and he went and made We Were Soldiers, and then Just Friends, and then American Reunion, because he came back because he wasn't a big superstar. And that's basically the end for him as well. American Reunion was the last good thing that Chris Klein was in. I picked him because he was the and also I thought, oh yeah, he's a big name. Turns out he's not in anything except on a budget of, I do not know how much. I had a good Google around the internet to try and find how much the budget of this film was. Couldn't find an answer. But that did take me to this news story that I found from the Hollywood Reporter. And it goes as this. A financier of the 2005 film Just Friends, starring Ryan Reynolds, has been awarded more than $3.5 million from the film's foreign sales agent. The issue in the case was who was responsible for the financial burden when one of the film's producers absconded with millions of dollars received from a Canadian tax credit for the film. The lawsuit was brought forward by Cinzeta International, who put up $9 million in equity funding, plus another $9 million in the form of a production loan for the making of the comedy, by a man. But then a man by the name of Bill Vince is said to have absconded with the money, and Cinzeta has been unsuccessful in its efforts to recover it. The decision won't go into details about what happened, but Bill Vince is a Vancouver film producer who died in 2008, so 3 years after the film, having worked on dozens of films in his career, including Underworld, Saved, Capote, and the reason I put this all in, The Imaginarium of Dr. Panassa.
Hey.
He worked on that film. So yeah, this film literally lost money, as in someone took off with $3.5 million.
Major first, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It opened in the US, $9 million its first weekend. There's some of their equity loan back. Final US gross, $32.5 million. Final worldwide gross, $51 million. So I actually did okay at the box office. But yeah, a lot of money problems. Before that, the film was released on Thanksgiving Eve, the 23rd of November, 2005 in America.
That'd be a good time to review this film.
Yeah, the kind of Christmassy sort of time. It was 6th of January in the UK, even kind of wintry sort of time. Just had Christmas and all that. Yeah, that meant 2006 awards season for Just Friends. No Oscars, no Razzies. Don't have to worry about the ups and the downs. However, 2006 MTV Movie Awards. Here we go. One nomination though. I thought it was going to be loads, but just one. Best Kiss. Anna Faris and Christopher Rodriguez Marquette. They lost, however, to Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger for Brokeback Mountain was the best kiss that year, and probably better than the one they had in the film. 0 Saturn Awards, not that kind of film. However, one other, and only one other, awards ceremony picked up on Just Friends, giving it 2 nominations. The Teen Choice Awards. Now, the Teen Choice Awards, they call it the Choice Actor and the Choice Actor. I'll put best. I'm not going to know that sort of gimmicky stuff. So, Best Lip Lock. The previous nominees, the same kiss. They did not win again, however. They lost to Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves for The Lake House. Another nomination, Anna Faris nominated for Best Hissy Fit in this film. And she lost to Keira Knightley in Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest. I think it's the second one.
I don't remember having a hissy fit in that.
Necessarily remember. I think she maybe had to go everyone on the beach when our main star shipwrecked and they were stuck. I think.
What a category. That's the kind of point he's feed.
Yeah, lip lock.
I was just thinking, Hissy Fit Award.
Yeah. It's a bit late to add it this season. I'm not going to the whole every film trying to find the hissy fits. Anyway, synopsis by Hugo, and I'm going to have a drink of water here because this is not a short one.
He's going to explain the whole film.
I think so. Hugo here. I don't know if I had Hugo before. I kind of recognise his name. Late 20-something Chris Brander is a good-looking, successful Los Angeles-based recording executive who can have his choice of almost any woman he wants. This has not always been the case, as he was an overweight geek in high school in small-town New Jersey. At the time, he was in love with his best friend, Jamie Palomino, who said she loved him like a brother when he finally professed his love to her. Being a cheerleader, was she? Was she a cheerleader? Being a cheerleader, she was one of the popular kids and seemed only to date good-looking guys, all who ended up being jerks. His experience with Jamie has led to Chris having a theory of dating, the basic tenet being not to fall into the friend zone with someone you want to date, a zone of which one cannot get out. Jamie was also his impetus to turn his life around, to get fit, and make a success out of his life. In the lead up to Christmas, he is on his way to Paris with the current Hollywood it girl, Samantha James, who his boss, KC, wants Chris to woo so that they can sign her when she makes her foray into music. In reality, she is talentless, vacuous, and totally self-absorbed, which Chris knows, but Samantha sees Chris as her Christmas present. He to attend her every need, which is tend, isn't it, rather than attend, and want on this trip, sexual or otherwise. Their flight hits technical problems. I haven't gotten to New Jersey yet. The flight hits technical problems, forcing an unscheduled stop in New Jersey, where Chris has not been since he ran away 10 years ago following high school. Back in his hometown, Chris runs into many old friends and acquaintances, including Jamie. He finds that he is still in love with her and is determined not to fall back into the friend zone with her, which is easier said than done. Other obstacles to a Chris-Jamie happy ending are Samantha, who will not be ignored by Chris, and Dusty Dinkelman, another geek admirer of Jamie's in high school, who too has turned his life around as a paramedic, and whose intention is to outwoo Chris for Jamie's affections. And that's finally the end of Hugo's explanation. I think it is the longest I've ever...
That was detailed.
Yes. It's a good background on everybody, and doesn't actually spoil the events of the film too much. So there we go. It was a good plot synopsis, plot summary by Hugo. Who picked Chris? You picked Just Friends. Why have you picked it?
I kind of forgot it was a Christmas film, to be honest. I've had it on my list for ages. I've always wanted to pick it at Christmas time. But I've always shot myself in the foot with a stupid theme.
Christmas film.
Right. Yeah. Stupid theme, yeah.
So out of nowhere, I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. If I don't do it now, it's never going to get done. So I wanted to pick Just Friends.
So the unfinished business here, because it's part of
I've not been able to pick it.
you couldn't do it at Christmas, yeah.
Plus, it's so hot and I want to lie in the snow.
Fair enough. I had never seen this before. What about you, Andy?
I've seen this before. It's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and Chris clearly has seen it before as well. Which channel would you normally find it on?
Oh,
This could be a BBC One Christmas time film.
no, I was gonna say ITV.
Maybe ITV2. That's what
Yeah,
it should be.
it's definitely it's not in the prime time
With
ones.
the ITV2 gimmick of really badly timed adverts where they cut people's like sentences.
Yeah, that, and then they get like 30-minute stop for the news.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
You'll leave and come back and fuck, I was watching that film. I forgot about
yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah, you go watch something else and you miss 20 minutes. And we all watch the same version because there's only one version. I thought there might be like a extended cut, like unedited, extra rude bits and all that. But no, there's only one version of this film apparently. That brings us on to point two then. How long was point one? 10 minutes for point one there. Because of that bloody synopsis. Point two, high points. What are the best bits and things about the film? Chris, lead us off.
That opening. Fat Ryan
Right.
Reynolds.
Yeah,
This makes me so happy.
I must say, Fat Ryan Reynolds is amazing.
Yeah. He's like Jack Black. He's like, it's all in his eyes where he just kind of keeps going like that and like winking and stuff. It
looks good as well. It's the perfect sweet spot between we can do this and it looks fine, and it's not yet it's not yet wrong to criticize fat people and make fun of fatties for being fat. Like, it's the sweet spot in between where he looks good. Like, he probably looks better. I can't remember vividly what it looks like in the Nutty Professor, but I bet he looks better fat than what Eddie Murphy does in the Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but yeah, really well.
I had headphones on, listening to the sound, so I noticed all of his little. He mumbles and says a lot of stuff under his breath. Like, he takes out his retainer, he goes bleh, as he takes it out, and then when Dusty walks into the room, he's with Jamie Palomino at the party, and he goes all nuts. He just turns around and goes, Jesus. He just says a lot of stuff under his breath that I've never really noticed before because I had my headphones in this time.
Yeah, you can hear it kind of clearly. Some of the mumbling he does when he's approaching the house. Is it approaching the house when he's talking? Like, basically, he seems to be practicing his lines he's going to say.
He goes, okay, you want to kiss Jamie? Yeah. Opening your gate, Jamie. Yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah. Yeah, commentating to Jamie who isn't there. Yes, I can't argue. Andy, any early high points from you?
I actually quite like the bit where like he's trying to get on with her, and then it just constant interruptions.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
There was the right amount of just proper jock coming in, and then Dinkelman
Dusty.
coming in, doing his song and stuff like that, and then just to the edge, it's like, no, go away.
I like that.
You think that's it, and then you get the twist of the yearbook switch, which is like, it's the perfect timing. That's like proper comedic timing.
It was really good timing. I could kind of see it coming when the jock came in with his one, but you're right, timing wise, I'd kind of forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And we've moved on to the book now, and then it's gone. It's like, oh yeah, the guy did come in with the book. I liked as well
stuff that kind of takes your mind away, like Dusty. When he starts playing, he says to Jamie, he just mumbles, "He's crazy."
Yeah,
he starts playing, he just goes freaks out. You see them all jumping like, "Oh crap!" Here.
I did like also that it kind of presented the hierarchy of like the jock guy, he's kind of scared of, but then there's useless nerd Dusty. He's like, well, I can get up and I can get rid of him because I'm higher on the like I'm not scared of Dusty. I can get rid. He's more nerdy, more of a geek than I am. I like that bit as well. My first high point, which extended really to an all throughout, all over the top, all encompassing high point is. I absolutely love Anna Faris in this film. Samantha James? Samantha James. Her charity thing at first, where she's promoting veganism in Africa, started holding a chicken, and just the thing she says there is hilarious. The next scene is her in the recording studio, which absolutely cracked me up as well. Her trying to hit that note, claiming that they changed it. I was like, no, the last 40 takes has been the exact same thing. Her just latching on to him as he comes in. Some of the things she says, and then just basically the whole interplay throughout the entire film.
There's enough gaps. Like normally she's too much. Like in scary movies and that she is too much.
Yeah.
There's enough of she goes away and then comes back and does Anna Faris things.
I had one of my high points was I had like the bit where he drags her out to the car and just the interplay they have. And it's like, that was such a good bit. And then they have another one later on, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad this is. I want to see another one of these. And that's the one where he's like, he tricks her because he's got to play the gig, and then the brother takes the key just at the last minute and goes in. It's
I should have got that poster behind me. That's what I should have done.
Oh yeah, or the banana, yeah. But yeah,
all the stuff between Chris and Samantha, like before that, when she's like you said, latched onto it at the studio, and she's about to like give a wee blowy. And it just stops out and nobody's like, oh, I've got your song. And his trousers just slowly
on the trousers falling as well. Yeah. Her song kind of growing throughout the film as well, because she sits down and she's bad and it's bad, and then she plays it again, and I might be wrong, but it feels like it gets better and better as it goes through.
Right, like she can't sing in the recording studio.
In the plane, she's good.
Yeah. No, like I remember she developed some talent and she can play the guitar.
And then at the very end, through the end credits, we actually get the full song, which I really like, and it's getting nominated. Spoiler alert! But basically, yeah, and then her antagonizing Amy Smart's character anytime they're in a scene together is amazing as well, and just especially the bar is a good one. Again, even that scene, she comes and goes as well. She comes in, who's this, blah blah blah, and then she's like shouting from the corner.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm busy too.
It cracks me up. I'm busy, you stupid dick. Okay, I'll see you later. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's just like, just anything she does, and then I'll pop it in here as well because it's her again when she wrecks the kind of Christmas party house thing where she brings down all the decorations when she drives the car into the garden. That was the culmination of how great she is. Actually, even the scene at the end where they're back in Los Angeles and she's playing the song for him in there as well. Her popping up, I cheered basically when she appeared behind him on the sofa. I was like, yes, she's back. Samantha's still here. So absolutely, the highest high point for this entire film is Anna Faris as Samantha.
I've got that trumped with Chris and Mike. They're constant fighting. Like the first time you see. They've just got to the mum's house and he's sitting there and in comes Mike and he comes and just slaps him in the face and goes sits next to Samantha going, this is my Christmas present. I've slapped a ham to your poster. And the mum as well was like, that better not be the ham I just bought.
Yeah, the ham, yeah. That ham, yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I think it's how you should introduce yourself to all girls that walk in. Just like, yep, just slapped one out to you. She seems to take it so well as well.
That's what you get put on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're constant fighting. Like the best one, there's a few of them. It's after Chris Ingles like smashed his face in. That comes up later on. They're looking at things and he goes, "Oh look, she's put hugs and kisses." Mum does that in my cards, and then starts slapping each other. And he boots them, and then he's crawling away. And he starts kicking him in the arse.
Kicks him square in the arse is a good bit as well. Yeah.
Like their constant bickering throughout the whole film is just great. Apart from Christmas Day when they're like, "I love you, man. I love you too."
I don't like it when he was trying to spit on him. That was too much.
Yeah.
I thought not too far. Well, I'll leave. I was going to complain about something, but it can wait. Andy, high points. Any from you?
Where am I? Most of the stuff does involve Anna Faris and Fair. Well, two highlights I think you kind of skipped over is Anna Faris kissing Thingy's friend. That was good. That was a good high point.
Darla.
Yeah.
Oh, Darla.
Just the way she did it. It's just like brilliant.
Yeah.
Just casually walked away, and it's just like then they just carried on like, "Oh my God, you're back!" Blah blah blah. It's like, "Oh my God, you got a baby," or whatever it was they all freaked out about. But I think the next kind of thing that made me absolutely chuckle was when Anna Faris got tasered in the ass.
I was not expecting that.
No,
funny.
Absolutely, I completely forgot that happened. So, yeah, just teased in the ass and then flying over the mill thing.
It was funny. And then we get the scene with her cartoon style with the ice pack like wrapped on her head, eating the toothpaste as well.
It was the bit when she's like, Chris is on the floor after another little fight, and she's like spreading it all over his cheeks and all that, and spitting on him.
Yeah, and that was actually there was too much. That was too much. That the spitting in his mouth, and then she comes up with toothpaste on his face. So that was good. basically, I have no other major high points. I've only got tiny little ones. So one of them, I'll just throw one out now. I very much liked it when he arrived home and then just randomly threw a snowball at the neighbour and then carried on with the scene. It just cracked me up. This guy was like, "Oh, hi, Chris," blah, 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 blah. Just lobs a snowball at him and then carries on. So that's my small high point I'll slip in. So, Chris.
Before that, after his day date with Jamie, he's just sitting in the car having a complete fucking meltdown, and she just appears. It's that little smirk on her face, like she's trying to hold it in.
All right. Yeah. I think Amy Smart was actually laughing. I think and they just kept it in. But yeah, it was funny.
My next one's the Ryan Reynolds ice skating scene.
The hockey one.
The hockey game.
Just him squaring off against the little kid, and then you find out the kid's a girl, and then he just gets beaten up, and then it just snowballs from there.
Oh, literally, yeah.
I had going rogue. Just like, hitting the kids out of the way and like slap shotting them.
We all want to do that.
I couldn't work out it's not a low point or anything like that, but oh, hi guys, you are two adults. We're two people short for our children's hockey game that one entire team who have matching kits have.
Yep.
Can you come and play on the other team against this team of kids? Oh yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. It's like it seems like a strange setup. It's like, well, there's no other kids that I can see that are in the background that you could go get. There's a free sign saying free skates that any child who wanted to play ice hockey could go and get a free set.
Maybe there were only adult sizes left.
Maybe find the biggest kid, the biggest. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. It was funny. I was not expecting him to do what he did at the end when he finally snaps and then ricochets the puck off the crossbar in his teeth. I did laugh because I did not expect that to be what happened.
I've got a small one with the phone calls. Every time he's on the phone to somebody, like his mum gets in or Mike's in.
Joyce?
He's like, oh yeah, but he's like, oh, you were going to watch the Notebook. Bleh, bleh, okay. Bleh, bleh. He goes, get off the floor. He just boots the door down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did like the mum, like constantly being another line. Andy, any more high points from you? I've only got one more minor small one. Well, my minor small one is that Jamie's 1995 mixtape. We only hear one song and one song only, and you both nodded at the same time. It was the Mortal Kombat theme song, and I was like, yes, perfect. Should be in every film, the Mortal Kombat theme.
But it was a faker version of the Mortal Kombat theme tune.
It's like the middle of it, really, wasn't it?
It's like, I don't know if they had the license for it, so it's like, we'll play a bit, but everybody always knows that song, so we're doing it.
We'll play the breakdown in the middle rather than the intro.
It's a banger, though.
It's very 1995.
That's definitely wife material if they had that kind of in their album.
Yeah, good point. I'm out of high points, so any others are welcome, or we'll move on to low points.
You've already mentioned the Palomino Christmas Massacre.
Yeah. Those poor reindeer. Oh, are they dead animals? I don't know.
Yeah, so I think I'm out as well.
Right, there we go. On the low points then. I thought you guys would be, I don't know, waxing more.
There's like so many little bits. Like when he's cycling his bike and he just falls flat on his face.
They're all crisp points.
In front of the random carol singers through the film for most of it, which is weird. Anyway, point 3, low points. What we thought the worst bits and things were. Immediately, within about 2 minutes, I feel like Chris is a psychopath. And that's one problem I have with the character is, like, he has a photo collage, basically, of Chris loves Jamie, and at least 60%, 75% of those pictures are just of Jamie.
The counter argument is she's got the same on her wall.
Right. Even then, I don't believe.
Counter argument. This film just reminds me of somebody else we used to know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then, does that not prove my theory?
Yes.
But yeah, even the way, like, as I mentioned earlier, him mumbling and talking to Jamie. Oh, Jamie. I'm gonna like. It's like she's always on his mind and can't get over the fact that this sort of stuff. And
definitely like somebody we used to know.
And I cannot help but think. And I don't mean to I don't know, publicly humiliate what's his name, Adam Tex Davis, who really only ever wrote this film. I feel like he's got some very high school incel background that made him write this film that worries me about his approach to women. And basically, this whole thing is about this guy had a girl who was a friend, but really all he wanted was to have sex with her, and that's all it was worth, was the whole friendship was so he could have sex with her. And that's the worth of women in this film is basically presented as...
That's pretty much my major low point in this, is like Ryan Reynolds' character, like, he's not likable at any stage other than when you first see him and he's a little fat suit, and then like as you say, instantly it's just a decline, and it just keeps getting worse. You feel sorry for him for a little bit when he gets like humiliated, but then when he disappears, he comes straight back. This young guy, and he's basically just revenge sex all the time.
Yeah, it's this has turned you into a dick. This story's going to be your redemption. No, you're pretty much just a dick the entire time.
And then literally the counter of it is you have two dicks fighting each other to try and win a woman.
Here's a
for still the same purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, basically, my major low point of the whole thing is that Chris repeatedly blows his chances, repeatedly pisses off Jamie. Like, there's 3 dates to go on where she's annoyed and angry and hates him, but she's always happy to just be on the phone and go on another date with him. And then he fully ruins her family's Christmas. Basically, Samantha does it, but it's his fault, as it were. And then she throws she throws herself at him. And it's like, this is not a real person, this Jamie person. This is a dream woman that some weird guy who couldn't get any in high school wrote into a film, and that's what this film was based on. It's just, it doesn't stand up to the critiquing the character of Jamie in this film. But that's my major low point. Chris, have you got any low points?
Well, just nitpicks really. Like you were talking about the book at the start. Ajay flips off and he drops the thing. He doesn't pick up Chris's book. He picks up his own book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because Chris has still got it in his hand. He doesn't drop it the way that he's supposed to. So
this is Chris low point. Jesus,
he's
clutching his straws here.
Already reaching. Was Chris really rude, as was claimed, for not wanting a giant mountain of pancakes he didn't order?
Absolutely fucking not. She deserved that, the bitch.
Don't get me wrong, I fucking hate it. Like, it used to be like the Star. Like, the Star is the thing that got me this. You know when people used to walk in, Bruce, and you would
know what they were supposed to have.
You'd always know what they would get them, but I stopped it because you just never, there's that possibility that they might change it. So you get the two-way thing where, well, I always have. It's like, all right, I'll do it then. But then I'm the type of person that'll just come in and just have something random each time.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
And it's just like, well, no, I've already had 25 pints somewhere else. I don't want the pint now, but you've already poured it. And it just gets me angry. Yeah. So I'm all for that. It's like, no, just don't presume.
But if you remember, even in that same place, Andy, people used to do it with food as well, where some customers would come in and were supposed to know their food order.
Oh, no.
It's like, yeah,
it's like, well, you don't always have to have a gammon, hard egg, chips,
specifically
raw tomato. You don't have to have that every time. Sometimes you might have had that for your tea the night before, so you don't want it. But yeah, you get pissy with you. It's like, oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah. She has been there for 10 years, and she brings out this fucking 12-stack pancakes. Of course she's not going to eat that.
Exactly. And at no point did he want that. I can't remember if did he order that? I don't know if he even ordered.
No, she just went, I'll be back with your order.
Yeah.
I've got a surprise for you. Brings you that.
Non-film related segue, but it makes me look really good. So I was at Nando's, right? You can't tell her Nando's. We ordered a new burger they got in the menu. It's like a chicken leg thigh, it's like a thigh burger, but it's a chicken leg version of it. Right? Really good.
It's not ready, but carry on.
So ordered it. And normally Nando's is rapid. It's like bang out. It's like, so put our food order. Within about 30 seconds, the manager comes over and went, just to let you know, we've just put the chicken in the oven, so it's going to be really fresh, but it will be 15 minutes. Is that okay? And we're like, yeah, that's fine. So they go away. 5 minutes later, she comes back and went, do you want me to get you any starters or anything? And we're like, nah, it's fine, don't worry. And then she comes back, 10-minute warning. Like, she's like, oh, it's just going to be 5 more minutes. Are you sure you guys don't want anything? And then it was only then did I clock when, you were offering me something for free. But this time I was too invested, so I was like, no, it's all, you're all right. And then she went, you know what? You two are you're so nice. You're taking this so well. And I was like, oh, it's all right. And then she brought out her food and she's like, do you guys want anything to take away? We'll sort you out. And I was just like, I can't say yes now. I'm too invested in it.
One of these.
Oh, no, you're fine. You've said no 3 times. The 4th time is yes.
And they want you to take it at that point, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of remember the waitress is like, it's like, this woman was being genuinely nice, but yeah, I was ready to turn. But if she came over and went, since your food's going to be a little bit later than we expect, do you want something for free? If she worded it like that, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Can we offer you a free something?
But yeah, no, she's like, you sure you don't want me to get you a starter? And I was like, no, I've already paid for my food. I don't want to buy a starter in between. I've ordered what I want.
Yeah, in that context, it could be, we know you're getting hungry. Do you want to buy something to eat in between? Because it's still going to take a while, regardless of whether you eat or not. Yeah.
So the point is, 1, it made me look really good, and 2, waitresses need to get their act together.
Be clear with what you're asking. I had a waiter recently who I couldn't actually understand what he was saying. It was just lucky that my kind of yeses and no matched up with the questions and answers that I was. But yeah, I really struggled with this poor waiter that one time. But yeah, I'm sort of timing wise, he's probably asking this, so I'll give this answer. And it all worked out well. Anyway, you mentioned the phone calls. I like the ones with the mum. The one with the brother, where he was listening in and kind of making fun of him and all that, and Jamie was on the other line. That's when I began to get tired of the film not having many really funny bits in it. Like, if Samantha wasn't on screen, I was not laughing during this film. And it's like, oh, I've done that. And oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Oh, they're going that. That's the other thing, that there's slight tonal shifts. Like, it's meant to be really quite raunchy at times. And then, oh, we're not that film. Oh, we're gross out. No, we're not that film. It's a rom-com, but we're not really that film either. And it's like, it bounces around quite a lot, not deciding what kind of film it's going to be. And I'm like, well, none of the rest really matters because you've not made me laugh in this comedy film. So that phone calls where I was like, okay, this is going on a bit long. I need a bit more. And there were some funny bits came afterwards. But yeah, that point in the film, I started to struggle.
Low point. Is this a Christmas film or is it not a Christmas film?
I say it's a Christmas film because I'm quite easy when it comes to if it's basically at Christmas and clearly I say that's a Christmas film.
That's the only thing. Yeah, it's the only thing in play in this film. It's a Christmas film, and then even like Christmas Day, they don't really make a big thing out of it compared to like other films. Like normally,
it's weird. Aye,
you build up to Christmas Day, and that's always a big point. It's just like almost another day for them.
Was the party Christmas Day when they wrecked it, or was that just a Christmas party?
No, that was Christmas Day at night.
Yeah, it was.
That really didn't feel like it was. Yeah. This is Christmas Day. If he'd even been coming home for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Or going to Paris for Christmas. But they weren't even going to Paris for Christmas.
Yeah, and it's like even like if the boss told me it's like, all right, you got to go and get this record deal and that, I'd be like, fuck no, it's Christmas.
This week,
There's like no mention of Christmas. I saw this film just other than some Christmas trees and some snow.
Yeah. Personally, I do, but I say everything's Christmas films. It's gonna happen. Christmas. There's no Christmas message at all, so it's not that. I've only got one more low point, and it's not even really when he goes on his actual date. I think. With when he goes to go on what he thinks is his actual date, but then Chris Klein shows up and then the mum ends up going. He gets dressed in his old fat boy clothes. Why doesn't he have clothes? They were on their way to Paris. So why in this film was there a need for him to dress in his old cardigan when he surely had at least a couple of days worth of clothes? That I'm sure there's a washing machine in the house that he could have washed his actual clothes that fit him. It felt like, I've thought of something funny. He can wear his old nerdy clothes. Oh, yeah, that's really funny. And no one's actually thought twice about putting it in the film. So I would like to complain about that.
There was a reason. Oh, he wanted to show off that he was a sensitive guy. He wasn't like all suits and
I don't think
show off his body.
He must have clothes that would fit him. That are normal and not.
Fair, they still fit him. It's not even
it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But that's me at a low point. So I think we've covered everything I did. Any more?
I don't have any.
No. Cool. On to point 4. Statistics. The normal stats that I keep. Just the 7 shits and not one single F-bomb. I think twice Ryan Reynolds goes.
I swear there was an F-bomb.
He does 2 Fs, but never actually completes a full F-bomb. 1 explosion. Kind of at the Christmas party, there's one sort of explosiony bit, but there's a lot of kind of farty pyro that goes off. But really any explosions. No deaths, which brings me for later for the dead man walking. At no point did I ever think anyone was a dead man walking in this film. It didn't feel like it.
Anna Faris came close.
She did, I guess. She might have been. Actually, that would be the only one, now I think about it now. No cows, no goats, lots of dead deer, no dead animals otherwise, I think. It's not that kind of comedy. Pedophiles. Samantha is very close to it.
Oh yeah,
maybe accidentally, like not intentionally. She did ask. Yeah. He lied to her and the brother, and then she tongue licks his face.
Well, he's 18 though.
Was he though? I thought he was lying at that as well. He can drive, but I wasn't sure if he.
Well, you can drive when you're 16 over there, can't you?
Yeah, because I thought he said like 22. Oh no, I'm lying. 21. Oh no, I'm lying. 19. And then I thought, oh no, I'm 18. But I thought that was just because so that I can still get what I want here, I'm going to say 18. I think rather than I am actually 18. Because he does not act like an 18-year-old.
Either way, kid's got game.
He's got game. I was pulling for him. I thought, go on, whatever your name is, Mike. Come on, Mike. This is your chance. And I don't think he went about it in any sort of wrong fashion. Tom Cruise / Tackleberry trifecta. Ryan Reynolds runs and he gets the girl, and he's very close, but he only rides a bicycle, not a motorcycle. So, as close as we've been outside of Tackleberry.
Can't believe Tackle Bear is the last one to take that.
The only one, because
even that was stretching because he was already married.
Tom Cruise didn't even get it in. I'm trying to. Tom Cruise didn't get the girl in Edge of Tomorrow, did he?
Not even the girl. He just didn't ride a motorbike.
Oh, I did Edge of Tomorrow. He did.
I did.
He definitely, because he was off to the pub one day, and one of his days where he's die, he decided I'm going to the pub.
He does technically get her.
Does he? I can't really remember how the film ends, to be honest. He might do, so maybe that's why, looking back. But it's definitely, I still stand in several films, the trifecta is got by Tom Cruise. Did they say the thing? Just Friends.
Twice.
I only clocked it the once.
Oh, fuck.
I may have missed one. 11 minutes, 30 seconds, someone says Just Friends. But they say friend a lot.
The girl at they said friends, they said friends 14 times, but they said friend about 43.
There you go. I knew Chris was going to count that, so I didn't bother with that. But yeah, I think it's just the once. But yeah, I could be stand corrected.
I thought she said it in the bar. Oh, me and Dusty are just friends.
That might be it. That might be the one, though.
Well, it's the girl in the hockey thing. Oh, him, we're just friends. That's one definite. But I thought she said it again to Dusty.
Oh, maybe. Well, it's not a lot, and they do say it. Chris, any more from you?
It's been a while, but we've got 5 nut shots in this film.
Came back with a vengeance.
I know, Ryan gets hit with an oxygen tank in the ambulance. Twice, Samantha just grabs his balls.
That's right, yeah.
And at the end, she tased him in the balls. At the Palomino Massacre, a deer lands on Jamie's dad's balls.
I like the Palomino Massacre. Need to get that later on. That's right, that does as well. Is that you, though?
That's me,
no
yeah.
Andy, a fun fact about Just Friends.
No.
No. Nothing fun, fact-wise. Okay.
To be fair, the money thingy one came up on when I had a wee look in.
Oh, really? Did it?
Yeah, so I was like, kind of was the only one I had, and then.
How about that's not New Jersey? That's Canada that it was filmed in.
It was, it was a Canadian film.
Los Angeles was Los Angeles, but New Jersey was Canada. But yeah, other than that, no others. 0.5 is a 10-point podcast quiz. Do we have a quiz, Andy?
We do have a quiz because I remembered that bit.
Good.
This one is a nice simple one, but
is it called Just Friends?
It's called friendzoning.
Oh, for the first time, we've changed the title this season, I think.
Friendzoning.
Friendzoning.
So basically, you need to remember that because then it makes the questions a bit more sensible and should hopefully help you in your journey to find the answer.
Okay.
Friendzoning. Who wants to go first?
Whose turn is it, Chris?
I think it's me.
Right.
You go first. Right. So remember, this quiz is called friendzoning.
Friendzoning.
Which Disney character does Quasimodo fall for?
Esmeralda.
Correct.
Ah, that's right. I would not. If I'd been first, I would have not got that.
Right. I'm going to butcher some names here because Zoe Deschanel, whatever you say her name is.
That's a tough. I'll be honest, that is a tough name. So yeah.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt star in which 2009 movie together?
They are in the 500 Days of Summer.
No.
Well, that's exactly what I was going.
Unless it's got a different name from what I've got.
Okay.
I got the 500 Days with Her.
Oh, it's of summer.
It's 500 Days of Summer.
Definitely.
Okay, well, I'll give you that then.
Unless you've got some other. I don't know what country would have called it that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, 500 Days of Summer is what it's called.
Right, I'll go with that then. Chris. Cameron Diaz's character, Kimberly, becomes the rival to whom in My Best Friend's Wedding?
Leslie Mann.
No.
Is that what you're looking for, is it? Yeah?
Yes.
Julia Roberts?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's quite good. It's not as bad as you think it.
Chris. Billy Crystal stars as Harry in which rom-com?
When Harry Met Sally?
Yes.
Yeah. Temple podcast, season something, episode something. Check it out.
Chris, which Harry Potter actor gets friend-zoned in the 2013 movie?
Rupert Grint?
No.
What was the question?
Which Harry Potter actor gets friend-zoned in 2013?
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yes.
Hey.
What film?
What's the context there?
Yeah, I know. Like any of them came friend zone.
It's friendzone.
In real life? Was it a film called Friendzone?
Bruce.
Mhm.
Which pop star? Oh, this is complicated. Which pop star stars opposite Miley Kunis in Friends with Benefits?
That's Justin Timberlake.
It is Justin Timberlake.
I've also now messed up the scores. What the hell's undo?
Oh, you're like 5-1 up or something.
I think that could, yeah, I think it's 5-1.
Chris, this should be one for you. Ivan Reitman directs which Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman movie?
Ah, fuck.
I know my rom-com somehow. I don't know
I
how.
can't remember what it's called. That's benefits. No strings attached.
Oh!
Oh, I'll give
Buzzer
you it.
beater.
Just I was about to throw over. I'll give you it.
Beat the buzzer.
Bruce,
Same
which
fucking movie.
1986 John Hughes movie stars Molly Ringwald and John Cryer?
Oh, is that Pretty in Pink?
It is Pretty in Pink, yes.
Give me the rom-coms that I've never seen.
Chris,
I'm absolutely hammered, so this could be the last one.
Isn't It Romantic is a movie within the lead finds herself trapped in a rom-com, but who portrays a protagonist, Natalie.
So who plays Natalie in... What was the name of the
Yes.
film?
Isn't It Romantic?
Romantic.
Oh, Natalie Portman? I don't fucking know.
Not Natalie Portman.
For some reason I've got Anne Hathaway in my mind.
Nope, it was Rebel Wilson.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the one where she wakes up and she thinks she's like she's in a coma and she's like she thinks she's hot as hell and skinny and stuff like that.
Oh, I don't think I've even heard about it.
Who's getting the last question? Who does start?
Me, I'm the last question, yeah.
Elizabeth Banks, Isla Fisher, and Rachel Weisz star opposite Ryan Reynolds in which movie?
Give me the Reynolds one. I can see it in my mind, but I don't think I can... Is that like The Change Up or something like that?
It's not, Chris. You definitely maybe know this.
What?
He's definitely seen it. It's got Reynolds in it.
Oh, I've got my head's Chaos Theory. It's not Chaos Theory.
No, it was called Definitely Maybe.
Right.
Hey, see what I
I've
did
never
there?
fucking heard of it.
I think I can see the poster, but I've not seen it. I win comfortably.
Oh,
I've seen that
absolutely.
Ryan Reynolds film.
Who knew that rom-coms was my category? On to point 6. Movies within movies. Chris, the 10-point podcast universe.
A lot shorter than I was last week. Stephen Root, who's KC, was in Office Space as Milton, and Oh Brother Where Art Thou as a radio station man. The hum nam 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 guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Anna Faris, Samantha. She's only been in Waiting. I thought we'd done her more.
I think so. We did her recently. I think it's
Yeah.
just before Christmas we did her. So
Amy Smart, you already mentioned. She was in the Starship Troopers as one of the cadets, and Crank as Eve.
I thought she was in something else we've done as well, but then I realised she's actually not been in that much stuff, and we haven't done Road Race. So,
And lastly, Ryan Reynolds. I forgot to put his in. This is what I was doing.
I just put his name. Like I just literally put Ryan Reynolds. He's in the Hall of Fame.
We've done them both anyway. Blade Trinity, Hannibal, and Waiting as Monty.
And mentioned every episode as well.
Yeah.
Top of that as well. So
He got put in the Hall of Fame without actually being in a film.
No, he had. I think
Yeah,
it was
film.
it was the Blade Trinity seasons when he got in, or is the season that he got in. But we
Yeah,
did
I
it
think it's 'cause
retrospectively.
he saved Blade Trinity with his overacting.
We only did the Hall of Fame from season 5, and he won for season 3. So he'd
Oh,
already
right.
been in, I think, something else afterwards. Have you recast us into the film?
I did. So I made Andy as Chris only because Andy
Nice.
loves a good name drop just as much as Chris does. He name drops somebody every say, I've met this guy, just like
I'll give you
Chris
that.
did in the diner.
I'll give you that.
I put myself as Clark because he is basically me. Like, I haven't left town. I met my wife in the last years of her school. So I've got kids. So he is basically me. And Bruce, you've got a choice. It's either musical psycho Dusty or serial masturbator Mike.
Well, I have cast you as Clark, like you say, and I have cast Andy as Chris as well. However, I cast Andy as Chris, but in my film, I'm casting Ryan Reynolds as Jamie in my film. So therefore, Andy
I'd watch
plays
that.
the guy, and he has
Right.
Ryan Reynolds pictures on his wall, and he's trying to get Ryan Reynolds. So that was
I'd
my
definitely
one.
watch that.
I put myself as Dusty, so I'll take Dusty in your scenario as well. So we
I
actually
don't know if you're
basically,
musical talented or not.
I'm not. I'm not, but I'm taking
Neither was he.
Dusty.
He's stuck.
He had a glow up. I'm going with that. That's why I'm Dusty. I don't know. But yes, we cast us in the same fashion. So yeah, no arguments there. The Notebook, they went to see it in the cinema. It's actually in the film, so that's my one film I've picked out that's in this film. I don't remember the Notebook being like as bad as everyone makes out, but I don't remember it being a great time.
I got confused, I think.
Yeah, I quite remember liking the ending and the message that it had of the Notebook, but I don't think I'd ever pick it on the podcast somehow. Could this film have come out in 1995? Well, the prologue is set in 1995, and it's absolutely the kind of film that might have come out around then. It would be a lot less raunchy, but it's the sort of film that would. But yeah, I like that the prologue was set that year, and then we got Mortal Kombat music and all that stuff. Dead Man Walking, never suspected anyone. You're right, Anna Faris, my character might have been the closest. Who was in the wrong movie? Speaking of her, it's her. She is the best thing in this film and should have her own film, but they did that, and it didn't really work. So she's kind of in the wrong movie, but also it's the perfect amount of her here. Don't think anyone else is necessarily in the wrong movie. Ryan Reynolds, his dick character is kind of in the wrong film. If he just come back as a nice guy, it might have been better. You might have supported him a bit harder. Which trope would we like to see die? My one is either or both. You were once cool in high school and now you aren't, or you weren't cool in high school and now you are. I hate that trope. I'm getting bored of it. It's in about one in every fifth comedy film. So yeah, I don't need that anymore. Andy, what's your trope you want to see die?
Just boy, girl goes try and get their high school sweetheart or hunk, whatever you want to put it, vice versa.
Yeah.
It's every film that happens.
That I am handsome now. Now you will want kind of film. It's so shallow.
Should have banged me back in the day. Took a chance.
Mine's is you know when like Dusty's being tackled on the ground, he's lying on the ground, he's just pulling his face, he's going things like that. Like try to do things behind people's back when everybody can see you doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Being the dick behind everybody's back kind of thing, but doing it in plain sight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. Okay, let's get rid of that as well. Then they're all eliminated. We cannot have them anymore. Point 7. That one thing. What is the one thing this film has that will endure? That is famous. That is best. However you want to define that one thing. What's the one thing?
Anna Faris poster with the banana.
Right. Fair enough. Chris, what's yours?
For me, it's Chris and Mike.
The brothers. I've just gone fat Ryan Reynolds. To me, this will be the fat Ryan Reynolds film. I don't know if he's done it before.
I'm pretty sure he's fat in something else.
In fact, Deadpool. He is Deadpool. He does a fat portion, I think. But for me, this is one where he's like he's a fat guy. I think so. I'm sure he gets really out of shape at one point in one of the Deadpools. I could be wrong. I know he definitely has lots of body changes in the Deadpool movies. So maybe I'm misremembering. Either way, this is the one. But you're right. Let's go for all three of those nominations. The 10-Point Podcast Awards. Chris,
let's
lead us off.
Quite a lot. So for happy the best actor, Ryan Reynolds, just because
I didn't have anyone. I didn't think he was good enough. He plays himself. He just.
I'm kind of going with that. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. He's not good enough in this.
Okay, you're gonna hate this one. Best supporting was Chris Marquette.
Nope.
It's Anna Faris. His best supporting.
100% Anna Faris.
Sorry, just deals with film.
This goes to show how different our minds are because I've focused on something completely different to what you used
to be fair, like I never used to back Bruce. Bruce is always the fucking shit mundane, nobody gives a shit films.
Yeah, I like a rom-com.
I can see us getting fucking tanked later on. Well, you won't like that one, so I'll just ignore that one.
You must know now.
This is Mike.
No,
he fucking nails tries to nail Samantha Janice.
What's this? I'm sorry, I missed.
Oh, best badass was Mike.
Is he? I guess. I mean, I guess so. He's not going to beat somebody.
Let's put stuff down. Biggest Bellend was Dusty.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yep.
I thought you might change it to Chris Brand.
He's Dusty's.
Dusty's bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupidest character was Samantha. Literally, she was the stupidest character.
I've got with a question mark. I've got Jamie because like she just keeps going back. She hates him. He's an arsehole, and she knows this every time she goes to them. And every time
persuade me. 100% Jamie.
Right, it's Jamie.
My worst plan was getting Mike to look after Samantha at any time because it always just backfired.
It's not a great plan. You're right. I've got whatever his plan was to woo Jamie was the worst plan.
Mine's just a microwave and a plane.
Yeah, microwave and a plane. Yeah. But again, that is through just ignorance rather than planning. Okay, Chris, I think I'm happy to go with you. I think leaving Samantha with the brother was never a good option.
My best weapon was the taser because like tasers will never not be funny.
It might slip into inanimate object.
I wasn't sure about inanimate object.
weapons.
Her muffs were definitely the.
Are they not costume, or are we going fat suit for costume?
I've got fat suit for costume.
Okay, so
Fat
earmuffs.
suit.
Oh,
The
earmuffs.
fucking epic.
Oh, inanimate object. Especially because they helped her be like in the bar where nobody knew who she was. Stop looking. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Having typing.
This is going to be a contended one because it's not actually in the movie, but the best cameo is Alanis Morissette because she's in a deleted scene.
I'm sorry. No,
Yeah.
I'm not having deleted scene cameo. I don't have a cameo, but I've got a Chris cameo award nominee. Because if she'd only been in one scene, I would be arguing that it's a cameo. But Julie Haggerty as his mum, which flashes me back to our first major falling out on cameos here. Because once Chris nominated Ryan Reynolds' mum in Waiting, but I don't know who she was. But Julie Haggerty, her first scene the first scene after the airplane gets downed, and she was like the main character in Airplane, or at least the second main character in Airplane. And I never see her. She's never in anything else. Only ever know from Airplane. I'm like, oh my god, it's her from Airplane. And then she's in it too much, so I'm putting her in the Chris Cameo award. She's not a cameo.
Oh, she's not even a Chris Cameo award.
Like, I think she would fall into your kind of I know her from a thing. Really, is kind of rather than being.
I'm not accepting her as a Chris Cameo.
No? Chris Cameo is a real.
That is a Chris cameo. Though.
That's a Chris cameo. But yeah, I'm not having Alanis Morissette not being in the film.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Chris got all new cameo. Remember that Jack Black was meant to be in this film because he. Cameo,
I was never going to put it down. It's just I read it somewhere that she was going to be it, so I just put her as a cameo. Where am I?
Why would you cut her out? Like, would that not be a good thing to put in the film?
Budget, probably.
I'm sure she because they were dating at the time, but she flips out on him because he's treating ladies like shit. He had to sleep with her assistant and never called her back, so she flips out on him.
So that'd be a good, but you could be right, Andy. Maybe that's why they didn't put it in.
Where am I? A best fight, I put all of the Mike and Chris fights, but in particular is the gift basket one.
Right, okay, yeah. I'm happy to give you that. I don't think I had any of them. I knew that's where somebody would go, and I'm happy to have that, yeah.
Best line is when Clark swerves to stay in Jersey, he screams Mariah Carey.
I thought I'd missed a part of conversation that he was continuing on. I have a best line. I don't often have a best line nomination, comedies usually, but the one that actually cracked me up the most, I think it's Chris and Clark have gone to Jamie's house after the massacre. And Chris asks the dad at the door, "Where's Jamie?" And he replies, "She's gone off with Mr. Lee, aye, Dusty." And then Clark goes, "The dry cleaner?" And that just absolutely killed me. I just couldn't stop laughing for about a minute. This random Clark not being in the film and then just being, "What? Who's the guy from the dry cleaner?" So that cracked me up. But I don't know how to break this tie.
It's not a good line.
Right, fair enough. Is Mariah Carey the winner then, Andy? Is that the best line?
I would say so.
Okay. My best entrance was Mike introduction when he meets Chris. He just jumps past and slaps him.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a Samantha one. I thought surely there's a good Samantha entrance, but she didn't really have one.
Best exit.
Oh, she had her up behind the sofa, wherever it was, where he's sitting in his house.
Best song is "I Swear," awful one.
I would pass
it bedding for this film.
Forgiveness by Samantha. Her song, it entertains me to the film, but at the end it's good. I liked it in the credits. So, are you going with that, Andy? Did you give me
the? You, but I do like the Ryan Reynolds credits scene singing because I knew that's why Chris picked this film. We just loves that.
Yeah, you did beforehand. It was literally the opening credits is why Chris picked this.
We've already said best costume is Ryan Reynolds' fat suit.
Yep.
Most annoying kid was the hockey kids.
Yeah, okay. I was like, the brother's not that annoying, but you're right, it's the hockey kids. Yeah.
I love him.
Or the girl at the end who completely friend zones her pal, who was in the film earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a dick move by here. Do you want some cookie? Yeah, you have it.
Yeah, her. She's the most annoying kid.
Best stunt is either the stretcher slide or the car ripping everything down, like at the Palmyra massacre.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if I lean either direction. What about you, Andy?
Cars. I always like the cars.
Car. Okay.
I think that's me.
Best character name: Dusty Dinkelman.
He froze. He said he's froze.
It was that good. It was
that good. He broke the internet.
Well, I've not spoken since, so I'll just keep moving around until I come back. But I didn't say anything. That was the end of my point. I've got a product placement, Andy. If you don't, so I'll come back to that. Done that as well. I even mentioned both. Most underused, Stephen Root. I thought he was going to be a character in this film, and he's just gone.
Nah, he was a prick in this film. I don't like
I
him.
wanted that. I wanted something else. I wanted him to be on the phone berating him, telling him how useless he was with his wee kind of servant, and getting him annoyed and all that as well. So I wanted more of him. Worst kiss. I think Samantha and the little brother has to be worst kiss, but she just kind of waves her tongue all over his face instead. We've done that. Worst song, or was it worst performance, or worst song is a category we've had in the past. Dusty's first performance of Jamie, where he's in. so I'll go for that. Best product placement. I've got an answer. Andy, have you got a best product?
I've got two. Technically three, but I'm going to go clothing line. So it's either Under Armour, because Ryan Reynolds is literally wearing an Under Armour top.
Oh yeah.
But the very first series wearing the the crocodile one.
Right. Okay.
Or Range Rover or Porsche.
That Range Rover was at one point when the
Porsche.
The pal is driving.
There's a lot of
and then he veers across the motorway. The pal just shouts, "This is a Pontiac Grand Prix!" And it's like, okay, is that a good thing? I don't know. Is it supposed to be a good thing? And that's when the product placement jumped out of me. So I put Pontiac Grand Prix.
I think there was like 3 or 4, but yeah, definitely at the very start. I'm going to say it's the crocodile because it's just there all the way. Like when he's fat, it's just there. A little crocodile, can't see it. But then when he's skinny, he goes Under Armour. And then you got the Range Rover, but then you got the Porsche sitting there. So it's definitely been sponsored by a lot.
They made a lot of their extra funding that wasn't stolen, or maybe the one that was stolen from the product placement. That's me then. I have no others. Point 9 on the podcast, the moral of the story. What was the lesson we're supposed to learn from Just Friends? Andy, what's yours?
Always kiss on the first date, or whatever you're doing.
That's right, yeah, always kiss. Yeah, good one.
Or end up like somebody we know.
Chris, what's yours?
That's for never get friend zoned.
Never get friend zoned. I've gone lose some weight, fatty. That's
fucking hell.
That's brutal, is it not?
That's I don't know. He couldn't get her in high school. He lost some weight and he did. So that's the moral of the story. 10th point. The 10-point rating. We rate the film out of 10. Chris picked it. He goes first. I'd never seen it. I'll go last. So Chris.
I can see I'm going to completely think with the card here because
it feels that way. Yeah.
This is like my all-time favorite Ryan Reynolds film until Deadpool came out.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I absolutely fucking love this film. Like the fights between Chris and Mike, for me, will never not be funny. I could watch them all day, every day, and I absolutely love it. And it's another 8 for me.
8. My God, Andy, I thought you'd be nearer Chris, but I'm now feeling like it's me. 2. My God,
it's got to be one of the worst Ryan Reynolds films ever. Like he's done rom-coms that are a million times better. He's done comedy that's a million times better. This is pish. Yeah, I think he's even done Christmas films that are better.
I could be right, actually. Yeah. Okay, for me, first time viewing. It's so by the numbers and formulaic that it began to annoy me. It's barely funny. I didn't like either of the two main characters.
Savages.
But Anna Faris earns it 3 points, I think. Like it gets basically a point for being a functional film, and then Anna Faris maybe gives it 2, which is why I've somehow scored it higher than Andy.
Absolute fucking savages.
I would watch the Anna Faris version, which is only the scenes she's
Just
in.
her scenes.
Yeah, not what's this. So that is that. That's.
Oh, you made fun of me because I hated Spirited Away. I'm not a Ryan Reynolds fan. And you fucking savaged him here.
Spirited Away is a banger. It's a proper. Actually, that's a Christmas film. That is a better Christmas film than this.
Didn't watch it. A 4 out of 10 for Just Friends, which.
That's kind of right.
You're absolutely monstrous.
It's a wee bit high, I think. But anyway,
yes. I'm going to the fucking anger ratings now. You're getting 1s all the way for the next episode.
The anti-rate the scale. Right. Unfinished Business. The Mummy Returns, following up from The Mummy. Under Siege. I can't remember what the Unfinished Business was.
Because I just wanted to pick it.
Yeah, I think it was he wanted to do Under Siege 2, so he had to start that business. That was his second pick, by the way.
This was going to be Terminator, by the way, because I wanted to do Terminator 2, but I thought, no, fuck it.
The same premise. Alien 3, which was made sense for Unfinished Business.
Yeah, that's the only one that's made sense.
That's because he hadn't seen it or something. I can't remember.
Oh, no, because I'd fallen asleep like so many times trying to watch it.
And then Just Friends, because he could pick it ever at Christmas through his own decision making. So Unfinished Business. Chrissy's theme. The least
theme?
2 themes I've ever had. So that sets a low bar for a 7. I thought I was bad when I was, there's only one policeman in this, or oh my God, thank God, an actor was Scottish in that. But yeah, I think Chris is Fantastic.
I'm just picking films and I'm picking a theme. I'm just picking films and hoping it'll stick.
Well, this season I did. I picked 5 films. Like, how do I connect these? Cops and robbers. The Wheel, which I've just realised right now is the first time I've mentioned it tonight, Andy. So I hope The Wheel is at least
I'm
some.
all over it.
Right. Wheel is the final episode of season 7. It's going to be rounded out.
There's a lot of scattershot on this
Right.
Wheel because there's a fair few sequels that came to streaming.
Right. Okay. Some unfinished business. Beast, I think, has been the solid winner on the Wheel this season, and we've effectively lost with every other result.
What was the first one?
I'm gonna fire.
Beast.
Oh, Beast was the first
It
one.
was Beast.
Then
I'm gonna fire off. So yeah, just bear in mind that if it lands on a couple of these, we're gonna have to put some hours in.
So I have to watch the first one as well, do we? Right. Okay.
Yeah, you might have to. Right, here we go. Tell me when you can see it.
Not yet, but yes. Oh, it's not. I thought it was gonna be a lot. Right. Oh, I've seen one of these. Right, that's good.
Right, so these are all films that have came to
Oh,
streaming.
God, that one.
I'm up watching 9 Fast and Furious films. Right. Okay.
So these have all came to streaming, and they're available to buy on your home, whatever you want to use.
Right.
So
I'm happy about a couple of these, Andy. So that's this. There's a solid chance that it's something I want to watch. It's coming up.
Right, here we go. Let's spin and see what we've got. Here we go.
I haven't got 9 films in me.
Here we go. We're spinning. Oh
no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
I don't have one of the films in me.
Fast 10.
Oh
Is that
my god!
US Fast and Furious? Is it?
Well, it's on streaming. We're gonna have to do it.
Oh,
So yeah, there we
That
go.
means I'll be finally caught up with them.
this is going to make very interesting for the completionists who like the podcast. We're going to have the first and last.
I did the first one, and then we did the 10th one.
Fast 10.
I was deliberating not putting it in, but I was keeping to the rule of if it's came out in the last 2 weeks, or it's going to be out by the time we do the next podcast, which this came out last week. I was like, I kind of got to put it in.
There we go. Fast 10. I mean, I think I've only not seen 1. I think I only haven't seen 9. So,
Right, so you're all right. You've only got a little bit to catch up on. I think off the top of my head, you kind of have to watch 5, definitely. Whatever one's in Rio de Janeiro, you have to watch that one. No, the first one, The Rock.
The good 5, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to watch that, and then you've got
Hobbs
to.
and Shaw as well.
No.
That takes one film away.
You could be the test subject, Chris. You could just watch it without watching any others.
Yeah, you've definitely got to see 5.
I'm up to like Paul Walker dying.
Well, okay, that's 7, I think.
I think I've seen the one after that. Whichever one's got the big ginger guy from Game of Thrones? I've seen that one.
I've seen
No,
that.
you'll be all right. You're not a million miles off.
At the same point then. That's good. I'm not too disappointed. I feel like that's maybe a minor victory, but we'll see the film. But yeah, it's at least exciting.
Well, I rated this the best film of thing, and never get to review it.
Actually, can review it.
Some crazy shit here.
One.
It's on 1 and then 2. Let's see what he gives. How many times 3? Like, is he going to give it a 9? Is Fast 10 better than the last 2 combined by 3? So there we have Fast X, Fast 10. Is at home streaming now. Probably still in the cinemas in some places.
Yeah, it's still in the cinemas. This is the thing. You can buy it on Amazon right now, and you can think so.
And maybe go out to the cinema and see if I feel. So there you go. A brand new blockbuster still in cinemas and at home streaming if you need to. Fast X, Fast 10. See that? And we'll get you in 7 days' time for the 10 Point Podcast.